James Gunn teases the plot for the next major entry in the Superman saga, Man of Tomorrow, starring David Corenswet and Nicholas Hoult. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Please like, share and subscribe for more. Although Man of Tomorrow is set to mark Corenswet's return to the iconic role after a dominant summer, unless he pops up in Peacemaker Season 2 or Supergirl, this isn't exactly a traditional sequel to the 2025 hit. James Gunn teases the plot for the next major entry in the Superman saga, Man of Tomorrow, starring David Corenswet and Nicholas Hoult. Having wasted no time announcing the next major Superman movie, James Gunn has confirmed Nicholas Hoult's Lex Luthor and David Corenswet's Superman will indeed join forces for Man of Tomorrow. During an appearance on The Howard Stern Show, Gunn revealed the duo will work together, to a certain degree, to face a much bigger threat in the highly anticipated movie. It's a story about Lex Luthor and Superman having to work together to a certain degree against a much bigger threat. This doesn't come as a surprise, since the artwork used to announce the movie already hinted at the potential team-up. However, given the ending of Superman and Lex Luthor's unbridled hatred toward Clark, it'll be interesting to see how long that alliance holds, and whether Lex ultimately double-crosses him in the end. As I've said countless times, you can watch every project by itself, of course, just like you can watch Peacemaker by itself or watch Superman without seeing Creature Commandos. But Man of Tomorrow and PMS2 are very connected. With Peacemaker Season 2 boasting high reviews, James Gunn appears to be succeeding in rebuilding the DC brand after a decade of mishaps. And as for who'll be the big bad of Man of Tomorrow, there's a non-zero chance of it being Brainiac. Are you excited for Man of Tomorrow? Man of Tomorrow will arrive in theaters. Even though it's part of Gunn's Superman saga and will feature Superman prominently, the revered filmmaker has explicitly made it clear that it's not Superman 2, adding, via threads, Superman has a major role. It's not Superman 2-inch. In response to another fan, the director expressed that Peacemaker Season 2 is more of a direct sequel to Superman, and the events of this season will directly lead to Man of Tomorrow. I pretty much think of Peacemaker Season 2 as a direct sequel to Superman. Despite positioning Peacemaker Season 2 as a prequel to Man of Tomorrow, Gunn clarified the HBO Max series won't be a mandatory watch for fans looking to enjoy the former, even though they're very connected. James Gunn's Superman won at the box office despite not being a billion-dollar hit and coming out on digital only a month after its theatrical release. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Please like, share and subscribe for more. Halle Berry had already played Storm in the X-Men franchise and had won the Oscar for Monsters Ball. However, her starring role in Catwoman got her a Razzie Award. Based on the popular villain of the Batman comics, the movie had little to do with the established canon and did not focus on Selina Kyle's version of the character. James Gunn's Superman was released on digital and PVOD on August 15, a month after the film's theatrical release. Despite it not being a billion-dollar hit, it is still a major success, making fans wonder why the film was coming out so early. Gunn clarifies that it was due to Peacemaker Season 2's release via Variety. The film did great at the box office, with its worldwide gross at the time of writing being $586 million, via the numbers. While not a huge hit like the Dark Knight trilogy or even Man of Steel, Gunn's DCU film is not a failure, as it has fared much better than a whole bunch of DC adaptations. Gunn's Superman has surpassed 15 DC movies that were released since 2000, in terms of box office performance. Keanu Reeves' Constantine was not a flop and actually received mixed to positive reviews. The supernatural horror film had a budget of $100 million, and its $230 million box office gross, via Box Office Mojo, made it moderately profitable but not enough to start a franchise like other films of the time, like Spider-Man 2 and Batman Begins. The movie abandoned its comic book roots and used the character's popularity to show a generic action movie. Weak direction, action choreography, and performances were just a huge letdown. The weird basketball sequence still stands out. The film earned only $82 million against a $100 million budget and was a huge flop, via Box Office Mojo. Halle Berry had already played Storm in the X-Men franchise and had won the Oscar for Monsters Ball. However, her starring role in Catwoman got her a Razzie Award. Based on the popular villain of the Batman comics, the movie had little to do with the established canon and did not focus on Selina Kyle's version of the character. Bryan Singer's Superman Returns was a direct sequel to Superman 1 and 2, which starred Christopher Reeve. Brandon Routh replaced the legendary star in the sequel, but it was not as huge a hit. With a $200 million budget, the movie only grossed $391 million at the box office, which was too less for a film of that scale, via Box Office Mojo. All sequel plans were cancelled, and Man of Steel became the next live-action iteration of the character. Many criticized the slow pacing of the movie and Superman's late re-entry to heroics, though the movie received better responses in retrospect. Still, it was not as hopeful or fun as James Gunn's Superman, nor was it as grand as Man of Steel. The movie later became a cult classic. The relative obscurity of John Constantine, its R rating, and its not being a traditional superhero movie may have worked against it. However, a sequel has been in development for quite some time now, with Reeves ready to return to his role. We know Josh Brolin as Thanos and Cable, but before all of those comic book characters, he played Jonah Hex first in the eponymous flop. It also had a strong ensemble cast, including Michael Fassbender, Megan Fox, John Malkovich, and Michael Shannon. Zack Snyder's first attempt at a DC Comics adaptation, Watchmen's theatrical release was widely panned for its unorthodox filmmaking and Snyder's typical touches. Based on Alan Moore's legendary graphic novel, the film was a commentary on superheroes and their popularity. It was set in an alternative, retro-futuristic society. Despite its cult status, the film was a box office bomb, earning only $187 million at the box office despite an almost $150 million budget, via the numbers. Many criticized the long runtime, the bleak atmosphere, and the slow pacing. The characters were also not popular, and the deviation from Moore's comic book story angered many pure fans. With a production budget of almost $219 million, Green Lantern was destined to be a commercial flop. But its quality did not help its case. The film's reception was so bad that Ryan Reynolds himself addressed it in Deadpool 2. Many criticized the wasted potential of the movie, with badly made CGI and a very thin villain. Hal Jordan's storyline was also criticized for rushing through the emotional bits that resulted in a bad payoff. But the film was reportedly a critical and commercial failure, earning only $11 million. The production reportedly faced a lot of hurdles, including extensive reshoots, which messed with the original film. No matter what anyone says, Birds of Prey is a good film. There is a lot of hate against the movie, of Peacemaker but beyond Season 2, it was a fun watch that goes to social media to take the humor up a notch. The film, however, was a box office BOM. If you're just joining us, James Gunn has the perfect way to turn on notifications can be completely retconned out of the new DCU timeline. Share and subscribe Peacemaker for more. Is involved. Peacemaker provides a breath of fresh air for those who want to enjoy a TV show with psychological depth, and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Serious, philosophical music. Share and subscribe. And with Gunn's comedic genius in filmmaking, with the release of the new Peacemaker Season 2 trailer at this year's San Diego Comic-Con almost effortlessly, it was revealed that the White Dragon possessed the technology of interdimensional travel. Co-CEO James